Hello everyone. So a comment in the last video encouraged me to rewrite my YouTube intro using ChatGPT. So let's go ahead and give it a whirl. Here we go. Welcome to my new video. I'm working on a 3D modeling project called Wind Waker Unflooded, recreating the entire land of Hyrule in the Wind Waker art style. In the original game, as you know, the islands of the Great Sea are actually the mountaintops of Hyrule. So I'm reimagining these islands as part of a complete world that was never shown before. Join me as I 3D model Hyrule within the world of the Wind Waker. There you have it. So that's the YouTube intro. It might have been just a tad shorter than my last video. I don't know. I want to get into a rhythm there, but yeah, you know, as I said, this is in this project, we are creating Hyrule as you've never seen it before. I'm really excited about this project, and it inspires me each time I work on it. And it inspires me just to see how excited y'all get about the project, because I just know I'm so passionate about bringing this world to life in a way that I've always wanted to see it. And I'm so encouraged whenever I read comments that it really feels like it resonates with y'all too. So feel free to keep leaving comments. I'll go ahead and say that. You know, I'm getting all the spiel out of the way. I love reading your comments, and I love seeing feedback and criticism and ideas. And, you know, if you have any ideas about things you want to see in the world, or different directions, you know, an area might want to take, or just, you know, like I said, just things you want to see in this world that you've always wanted to see, feel free to leave a comment down below with your ideas. I you know, what I love about this channel is that, like, you know, it is a project based channel, but really what we're doing here, you know, secretly, you know, I've told you it's all about a 3D modeling project, but really what we're doing here is we're creating our own kind of side of the Zelda fan community here. You know, we're building a community together, and I really, you know, I want to encourage that. And, you know, I love talking about Zelda. And so, you know, comment down below, even if it's not about the project, just anything you feel about the Zelda franchise. You know, I want to read a couple comments just as we're watching this time lapse. What we're watching today is, I did some work just around the Lake Hylia region, and, just kind of working on the path there. And it's not a super elegant part of the world, but I do think it's important. Something that would just seem kind of natural that we were missing is a way to get from the bottom of the lake to the top. You know, I mean, let's imagine it. Like if you use your Deku Leaf to glide down into the lake, you know, where the island in the lake is, with the little house where the clown guy is in Twilight Princess. I mean, let's imagine that. Then you want to get back up to where the bridge is. And so just kind of creating a path to kind of help connect those. You know, I mean, something that I do think about is, like, how would this map work if it was actually in the game? Like, that is something I think about. And even though, like, you know, there are comments that have asked about this, and, like, you know, within my current skill set, I don't have any experience modding. I don't have any experience in game design. My experience with 3D stuff is just in 3D animation. Right now, I'm just creating a model, but I would love to, like, create something that y'all can explore, and I do want to think about that as I'm bringing this world to life. You know, but like that is something I value as I'm creating this world, as I do want to be thinking about what would it mean to actually walk, you know, in this world. What would it mean to actually try to traverse from location to location? And I want to make sure that anything on the map, you know, there's a way to get to it. That is something that I value. So yeah, like I said, I want to read a couple comments. Some of these I've already responded to, but, you know, like I said, I really value this community aspect. And I think part of that is, like, I want to highlight what y'all have to say and respond to it. So let's see. I'm thinking about which of these comments I want to respond to. Because one of these I just addressed. I mean, you know, just to reiterate, this comment, as I'm reading it, it was left 9 hours ago, and they've said, planning to ever make it playable as a modification of the actual game. The project looks amazing. Thank you. I remember back in the day when my cousin begged me to rebuild Ocarina of Time in Minecraft. As a longtime Blender user, I know how time-consuming this can be. I love the way you are sticking to the in-game style as well. Are you UV mapping each phase to a set of exported game textures? And I already, like, responded to this a little bit. And I said, just, yeah, thanks. I don't have any experience with modding myself, as I just said in the video. but I'd love to offer some kind of format for people to explore the map when it's done. And the textures are completely from the original game. I flirted with the idea early on of using higher res textures, but I think working on higher res would just slow things down too much. So I'm sticking with the original textures for now. Yeah, I always appreciate these positive comments, and whenever people use the word amazing, that I appreciate that. You know, I mean, here's the fact is, you know, like we're not so different, you and I. Like Minecraft was one of those games that I had a lot of fun with, you know, when I was a teenager, and for a while it was like kind of the only method I had for really bringing worlds to life in 3D spaces. And I think it's a great way to really express your creativity. That's how I interacted with the game. You know, for me, like survival was interesting and all those gameplay mechanics, but really what I enjoyed about Minecraft was just the opportunity to bring something from my imagination into a space that I can actually explore. And that was huge, even if it is like in a simplified kind of 8-bit texture pixel art kind of style. Like I thought that game just, the creativity that it empowered, I think that's so cool. And I know that like for this project, for Wind Waker Unflooded, you know, back when I was a teenager thinking about it, something I thought about was like, I've always wanted to see Hyrule within the world of the Wind Waker and connect it to the islands of the Great Sea. Is that a project I could do in Minecraft? That was kind of my initial vision for this project. But as I learned to actually like 3D model, it occurred to me that like, no, I can actually create this using the textures from the game, actually using the models from the game, and create it in the way that might be similar to how it would have looked in the game. And, you know, I love Minecraft, but, you know, and I haven't played in a while, but I do think for this project, I think it is a lot more appealing to actually use, to actually 3D model it, you know, in the style of the game. So yeah, I mean, all this to say, thank you for that comment. And I like I said, I always want to encourage y'all to leave more. Here's one from Link, the Hero of Winds. Shout out to Link, the Hero of Winds. This is an opportunity to go ahead and say, Link, the Hero of Winds is my first supporter on Patreon. So thank you so much. I got so happy when I saw, you know, the email inbox that I saw you there. It really means so much. And just to go ahead and say this, if you want to be able to support me and support, you know, the creation of this project, one way you can do that is by supporting me on Patreon. I have a link to that and my Ko-fi page on the About section of this YouTube channel. So go there to find some links to my Patreon and my Ko-fi page if you want to support me. Also, if you want other ways to support me, you can listen to my music on Spotify. Any music that you've heard in this video is my music, and you can find more of that on Spotify. So those are all ways you can support me. But here's this comment. This is the comment that Link, the Hero of Winds left. So Link asks, what was your starting point for learning how to 3D model? I'm a software engineer and I've been wanting to get into game development, so it's definitely something I'd like to try out. I have a bit of music background as well. That's awesome. Yeah, and as I said in my reply to that comment, I said, I started getting into CGI in 2019 when I learned Blender for an indie sci-fi web series I was working on called Starboys. I still feel like a beginner, really. I agree to that. And I dabbled in 3D before that here and there with Google SketchUp, but getting into Blender really changed the game for me. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, as I said, it's I learned it for a project. And I think if there's anyone watching who wants kind of some advice on learning how to get into 3D, I mean, something that really helped me was just how focused my goals were as I was starting to learn CGI. It's just like, because like I said, it was for a very specific project. It was for a sci-fi web series. I had specific shots, scripts already written, and so I knew what I wanted to bring to life. I knew exactly, like, all right, this shot is making a spaceship float across the screen. That's it. That's the goal. That's what I want to create. And so I think with those really concrete goals, with those storyboards, it really helped me learn CGI just because everything was focused with goals in mind. Because I do think sometimes it's intimidating when you're learning a new piece of software and you're kind of trying to explore everything. And I think that's intimidating. I don't really learn by jumping in that way and just trying things. I learn better, at least, you know, with CGI, just by, you know, like I said, just having a goal and trying to figure out how to bring that goal to life. That's my strategy, and that's my advice, and to me that really helps. And that is my advice to anyone, you know, anyone else who, I would love to inspire people to get into 3D art you know, if there's anything I can do, because I do think like if you're a creative person and you're interested in using that as, yeah, I mean, there's just so many use cases for 3D, for being able to work in 3D, whether that's with filmmaking and wanting to use CGI to help tell stories, or with projects like this where I'm 3D modeling this world from a video game that I've always loved and always wanted to imagine this world, and now I'm finally just realizing something that I've always wanted to bring to life. It feels so empowering to be creative in this new way. And I'm excited to, I feel like there's still so much that I have yet to learn about working in 3D. I'm excited to keep learning things. And yeah, just to respond to just some other aspects of that comment, I really like, you know, I feel like we're similar in that way that like, you know, I feel like a jack of all trades, you know. As I've mentioned, you know, I am a filmmaker, and that means writing and acting and composing the music and creating the CGI and doing the cinematography and dabbling in all these different fields. I find that really rewarding, and it's really nice to be able to do a project like a film and be able to kind of do everything for it. And I love working with other people, and I love bringing on new people, you know, onto my projects and collaborating. I find that really rewarding. But it is also nice that like I have the tools to be able to express myself, and if there's something if I have a vision, I can bring it to life on my own, and that is just really empowering. And I really enjoy that. So I guess like I feel like there's so many forces in this world that want to encourage us to specialize and to pick a lane and to call yourself one title. And, you know, I felt that especially as a young person when I was a teenager. I felt especially those pressures. But I guess, you know, if there's anyone listening, I want to encourage you that if it's hard to narrow down what you think your focus is, that's okay. I think it's okay to dabble in a bunch of different things. I think it's fun to dabble in a bunch of different things, and you don't have to only call yourself one thing. You know, I think it's exciting to be able to call yourself all these different things and find, you know, you don't have to have a singular identity. You can be a jack of all trades, and, you know, that can be really empowering. So I don't know if anyone needed to hear that, I'm happy to say it. So here's, I don't know, I ran it about that for a while, but here's this comment I wanted to respond to as well. Blue Base says, am I the only one that thinks Orden Village is the best starting village out of every Zelda game? Hyrule for Minish Cap is a close second. And I said, I think I agree, but I love all the starting villages. But Orden is really great, and I love how much it lets you feel like you're a part of this community. Establishing that relationship with the characters you have to save later on is really well done. I stand by that. That's another of those comments where I feel like my response was not genuine enough, which is why I wanted to respond in this video. And I don't have a whole lot of time left on the time lapse, but yeah, I mean, I love Orden Village. I'm really excited to keep working on that, bringing that into the world of the Wind Waker. I think that it'll be really fun to see that brought to life. But yeah, I love so many different starting villages in different Zelda games. You know, Kokiri Forest, I think, is a great way to learn the mechanics and the controls. I think it handles that really well as just like establishing the story really well and building relationships with Saria and the Great Deku Tree. And you have this, you know, you can tell that Mido is even kind of jealous of Link, but all that just helps you really feel like you're a part of this community. And I think Orden Village, you know, works just as great there, especially for the story. And, you know, making it meaningful when you get to save the kids later on. I love that aspect of Orden Village. I think Twilight Princess's story is still maybe the best in the series, and I'm willing to say that. Outset Island is, of course, one of my favorite starting areas as well, and I love how short it is. Like, it's Wind Waker gets to the point, and I really respect that. And I could keep talking about this for hours, but I need to start wrapping up the video. So, you know, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching and listening to me ramble about Zelda. Feel free to comment if you have any more ideas, like I said. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. See ya.